We visit with the mayors on Wednesday, and John Nichols, the mayor of College Station, with us this morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, Scott. Thank you for allowing me time.
You know, usually when we want to talk water, we have the water chick in here, but once again, the good doctor has knowledge about water for us this morning.
Well, I was listening to you guys earlier in Chelsea reporting on the research about the calming effect of water, and I can absolutely endorse what she said. And she and I, her grandparents live up in Rochester, New York, and she was up there last week and probably had time to reflect and enjoy the water in that area. But that region is covered with lakes, and my wife was born on one of those lakes. She's a water ski nut and all of that sort of thing when she was growing up. I'll tell you, water is her thing. And unfortunately, I've got her here at College Station. And we got a little creek in our backyard, but that does not cut it. It's the size of the body of water. Chelsea is correct.
Yeah, we had a chance to go eat at a restaurant on Lake Ontario, and it was gorgeous and just so beautiful and relaxing.
And you saw the sunset and the Toronto skyline?
Yep. It was lovely.
Did you see Toronto skyline?
Oh, no, I did not.
You couldn't see that. You went in the right place.
Maybe I wasn't looking in the right spot.
Well, it's very visible across the lake from where we are. Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, great topic.
But it feels like upstate New York this morning here,
Absolutely,
right?
I love it.
Yeah, we got that going on for us. You last council meeting, you had a report on tourism. Kind of like to get your overview on what you've heard as far as that's going in College Station.
Well, I'm really excited about the direction that our tourism program is going under Jeremiah Cook's leadership, and now Michael Ostrowski has become the Chief Development Officer, so his oversight is over that area. The data and statistics are demonstrating we're making some good progress in that area. The hoteliers are doing better than they were a few years ago, but that doesn't say much, I know, because it was a pretty bad time in 2021. But I think the occupancy of hotels, the attractiveness for new restaurants coming in here is built partly around the tourism trade, the attraction of the things that we have in the city of College Station, around the city of College Station, in the whole community, as well as Texas A&M. So I'm pretty positive. I'm looking forward to seeing their updated strategic plan, which they're working on now that they've got all of their pieces in place.
Almost before you come back, we will have had two major events at Kyle Field. And we had Dr. Balabina discussing what they had asked of the cities, Texas A&M had, and she said really just your support. But truth be told, there's some things that College Station is going to have to do differently those 2 weekends.
Oh, absolutely. Public safety is number one on any of these events, whether it's traffic or other aspects of public safety with crowds that you bring into town, and the demographics are different for different events. Certainly we know what a football weekend is. We've got a lot of experience with that. We don't know what a soccer weekend or what a George Strait weekend will bring. So I think public safety would be number one, and that's where the city spends a lot of funding to add ambulances, fire service, as well as the police and traffic control devices.
Well, but there's also been discussion that there might be on-street parking charges at some point in the future, and you're going to be able to look at this environment. Talk about that.
That's right, and this is a really good time because it is the summertime and there's less residents in town because only maybe a third of the students are here at most. So it's a good opportunity for us to test out a system whereby we can charge for parking in certain areas of South Side and around the East Side and a few other locations. We're using Park Mobile as the parking management company, just like we do in Northgate. We've had that going now with Park Mobile. It's been working well for 2 or 3 years. We're going to extend that into the South Side. Residents are going to need to park in their driveways. We're going to be seriously enforcing all the safety aspects over there, whether people blocking driveways or blocking corners and that sort of thing would be the primary enforcement activity there. But we'll have a lot of data when we come out of this. And ultimately, if we are charging for that area, there are vacant lots on campus that are fee-based as well. People can choose to park there, and that would reduce the congestion and the pressure on the South Side neighborhood, which always is pretty congested during football games.
So clarification on a couple of things. First of all, will residents possibly be charged to park in front of their own residence? And secondly, parking on both sides of the street could cause
No,
problems as far as congestion.
The no parking zones are still going to be no parking zones. We're not doing anything to change that. You have to be in a legal parking space over there. And so that means that we aren't adding any more parking spaces than are already always given away free over the same number of parking places that people can park in free. So I advise the citizens to park in their driveway or work out with their neighbors to get their cars off the street, and there won't be any problems.
But again, if they are parked in the street in front of their house, they could be charged?
They could be. That's up to the enforcement aspect of it. That's not the primary concern that we have or worry that we have at this point. I'm sure there'll be some anomalies. We'll have to deal with them. Any new regulatory thing that you put in place, it always has some anomalies that you have to deal with, and that may be one of them.
Sure. These are a couple opportunities.
Yeah. Ultimately, if we decide to do this on a regular basis, there will be a more formal process then for homeowners in that area to have some kind of consideration, but this was not enough time to put that in place for this event.
John Nichols, the Mayor of College Station, joining us. Council is going to, in July, look at certificates of obligation. Kind of explain to us, because people clearly know about bond issues, and they're governmental agencies that do this, but if these are COs, there's something different. Give us a kind of a 101 on this.
Well, government obligation bonds are those bonds, that shared debt that is voted on directly by the voting members of the citizens of the community. Certificates of obligation are authorized by the city council as a representative government. We represent citizens. We vote to fund some of our debt through certificates of obligation. In some cases, that's a lot more efficient, and sometimes maybe even a better rate, but certainly more efficient than for both our service entities like water, wastewater, electricity. We use COs there as well. We could use revenue bonds there, which are backed by the revenue of that entity, but we use COs because they are actually a little likely to be a better interest rate than a revenue bond is. It all comes back to the faith and the good economic management of the city itself. The city backs all of this. So COs are used for operational kinds of things like revolving funds for vehicles, for IT. Some of our park maintenance improvements that were one-time expenditures, we use COs for that. They're a lot more flexible. And ultimately, we're all responsible to the citizens. If they feel like we're exceeding what they believe is the appropriate use of debt, then they can bring that up at election, and people can run on those points. And people have run on those points. I've had opponents running against me that believed that we had too much debt and it wasn't all voted on directly by citizens. Keep in mind, the process for voting on government obligation bonds is a very long process. It's citizen included. Citizen bond issues are designed by citizen committees, and then the council tweaks that and then presents it back to the voters.
Sure, you score different projects, and
That's
those are
right.
the ones, and they
That's
rise
right.
to the top, and they're the ones that are
That's
included
right.
in that.
So COs add a little bit of flexibility, and that's why they exist. That's why the state allows representative governments like municipalities to issue certificates of obligation. They all go into the debt market. They're sold in different kinds of formats, but they're more flexible, allows us to do more timed, smaller issuances of debt that we don't have to think about 3 to 5 years out, because these are annual operating kinds of investments that we need to make.
Sure.
And things like police vehicles and fire vehicles are, expensive items, and that's something you have to judge every year what you need to be doing.
Sure. Yeah. What else do you have for us today?
Well, I just wanted to comment that also on June 1, we will be beginning the enforcement under the new regulations, the no more than 4. And I'm surprised you didn't bring that up, but that was another one of those things you could have.
Yeah.
You could have. And I'll just offer that and indicate that we will be initiating our code enforcement under the new regulations. We'll be taking a very careful case-by-case look at that. There will be some of those that will be brought to our attention, which are residences that are inside of a zone with an over-occupancy and a possibility of being shared housing. They just haven't filed for it. If that's the case, we'll cite them and then say, what you need to do to fix this, just go get the application and get it done. So we'll try to bring more of those those shared housing units legally back on stream. So it'll be a careful analysis and code enforcement over the summer, but it's back. And we worked with the city, the county, the university on this very carefully, and they're still supportive of what we're trying to do here.
Right. Well, Councilman Yancey mentioned it, and you did, so you've given fair warning.
Well,
I think people shouldn't be surprised.
It's coming up on the 1st. The other thing is Saturday night is the Starlight concert. The next one, it's the last Starlight concert, Saturday at Wolfpen Creek. Where is it here? Tribute band for Fleetwood Mac with guest San Antonio Lights. Mission is free, as always, and 7 p.m. It's the last one for the year.
Right,
Go enjoy.
All right, very good. That's John Nichols. He's the mayor of College Station. Thanks for the time this morning.
Thank you, Scott.
You bet.